Well, tipping was up more than ever at the height of the pandemic when so many people wanted to help and show compassion for those struggling to make ends meet. But now that businesses are building back up to full capacity and people are getting back to their usual routines, the question is, how much should we tip at this point? Etiquette expert Diane Gottsman joins us this morning to talk a little bit about it. Morning, Diane.
Good day.
It did feel good last year during the pandemic to be able to give a little bit more when you were picking up food or tipping someone who was coming to the house because you knew how important that was. Tips are always important for people working there who kind of rely on those tips. So what is the etiquette right now?
So I think that, certainly still people in the service industry are working for gratuity, so they get a certain base pay and then gratuity is still very important. So I think that we continue to tip graciously and respectfully. So that doesn't mean that you're over tipping. I know that during the pandemic, we were really cognizant of people who had lost their jobs and we wanted to, or limited hours. And still, I think we should be aware. But as restaurants are opening up and we're getting to a routine, we have to remember there are still some guidelines. So I say that 20% is the magic number when it comes to restaurants because it's just easy. It's easy to figure out. 18% is average. It used to be 15%, but you're never going to skip a tip. If you're unhappy with a service, by all means, let the general manager know, but don't ever skip a tip. Yeah. And when it comes to stylists and spa, treatments, again, 15 to 20%, 20% is what I would say average. Somebody asked me recently about their dog groomers. They're so excited to get back to their routine, even with their furry little pet. And don't skip that as well. That does offer an option for gratuity. And I think that, oh, look at that sweet dog. I do think that it's important to remember those who are providing that service.
Absolutely.
Now, when it comes to babysitters and the high school students that are working on our lawn, and if you're lucky enough to have that, then you would pay them. Let's say they charge you, for example, they're charging you $40. The question is, well, do I tip them on top of that? And that's just a number. I'm just making that number up. And if you want to give them a tip on top of what they're charging you, by all means. But remember that if they're giving you a number and this is a summer job for them, that's all money going directly to them.
Yeah, that's a good deal. I do want to talk real quick, go back to the people who are bringing things to the house, the food delivery orders. That's bigger than ever now. And just delivery people in general. I see in the notes here, 20%, a few bucks or 20% on the order is still pretty good for people bringing food to the house.
Yeah. So think about what you've ordered. And if you have ordered it and they are in their car, they're driving to you, they are, so there is an app that you can add your tip to. If you want to give them additional, by all means, again, I think it's a 10, 15, 20, 25. They're going to give you a sliding scale, but do tip and do tip graciously. And if you are a delivery driver, we got an email and somebody had said that the customer had ordered multiple items, heavy items, and it was on the second or third floor. Well, the driver still needs to take them to that door. They know what the order was in advance. You can always refuse that order if you don't feel like you can physically do that. But it will tell you where you're going. It will tell you what the order is. So you don't ever want to just leave something out on a curb for somebody else to trip over or for them to take. So that was a big question. And I think that there are two sides to that coin, because if somebody is ordering multiple things, they might be aware that there's going to be some extra footwork, but the delivery driver is responsible for taking it to the door.
And hopefully the person making the order made it right. That's for sure. That common sense and that kindness in whatever you're doing is always front and center, I know. Diane Gottsman, thank you always for that good information. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. See you soon.